I'm going to bang through this as quickly as possible for you, councillors. We've also, in addition to adding in our mapping around the Housing Now sites, we're starting to go back and map all of your open doors sites from 2015 onwards to see whether you've actually been able to deliver on open doors sites or not. The site we're talking about at CityPlace is one of the 4 sites you proposed in 2015 as part of the fast track pilot for open doors in 2015. 200 Madison, 505 Richmond, 150 Harrison, and this Block 36 North site. 5 years later, 200 Madison, they've just moved into, but it actually predates open doors. It dates back to like 2008, so it took about 12 years to get 80 units on that site. Richmond's under construction, but both Block 36 North and the 150 Harrison site are currently still empty fields 5 years after you approved affordable housing on those sites. Anybody who looked at this plan in 2015 could have told you it was going to fail. It was destined to fail because you were talking about building an 80-unit building in CityPlace. And the construction costs in CityPlace are really, really difficult. Just getting out of the ground costs a lot of money there. You're not going to get to the sort of numbers you're talking about. You say 40,000 units of affordable housing, right? This is 80 units. It would mean you'd have to build 500 of these buildings in the next 10 years. That's approving one of these buildings in this built form every week, pretty much, for the next decade. I don't think Mr. Lintern's staff have the bandwidth to do one a week at the moment. So it's an empty field right now. And this is an opportunity to bring it back in-house, and your 10-minute walk to the CN Tower from there, it's going to be right next to Rail Deck Park. It's a great location. You're not the only people who are having this problem. Vancouver has this problem. And potentially, you know, Ms. Bond, who's just come from Vancouver, can talk about this. They had 20 proposals that were selected in 2018 for an affordable housing project. In 2019, 30% of them had walked away from the deals that they'd agreed to because the math just didn't work. The math has to work on every single site. In Councillor Bradford's ward, we've had the same issue with the affordable housing site at Upper Gerrard and Coxwell. That was 33 units of affordable housing, but city staff said it needed 42 underground parking spaces. Like, we can't be having these kind of conversations if we're serious about affordable housing at speed, at scale in 2020. So I'm going to apologize to Councillor Perks for this slide. Does it pencil? That is, you know, we disagree with all kinds of stuff, but I think we agree on the math. We need to be able to pay for these buildings. They have to be viable. Part of the way we make them viable is to do the density and the built form that makes the math work. So our volunteers, I've talked to affordable housing developers. We have talked to affordable housing operators. We are pitching this into the ether as a way you can make this building viable in 2020. It's 22 stories, it's 282 units, it's a very simple built form. It is optimized to be run by a not-for-profit mixed income. It includes supportive and transitional units. The unit breakdowns are there. The square footage per units are there. Some people may be concerned about the small size of the bachelor units, but if we want supportive units, those supportive units are small units that are partnered up with larger units for sort of a co-living type relationship. We're happy to dig into more details on these. You can see from the examples in these renderings, we're not even talking about the biggest building in the neighborhood, but this is the kind of built form you need to be doing on a regular basis if you want to reach all the other targets you've talked about today. So we're asking you to assign this CityPlace site to Create TO, ask them to include it in the 2020 Housing Now list, throw away all the affordable design guidelines that failed to deliver affordable housing on this site in 2015. Give staff an explicit direction to maximize the number of affordable housing units you can locate on this site. And every time somebody comes to you with an affordable housing proposal, just ask the question, does it pencil? And that's it from us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Any questions? Very helpful. Seeing none.